Same. We have a lot of diversity this time. We have mentors from India, we have mentors from Ireland, and we have participants from all over the world. So this time we have participants from India, Ireland, Brazil, Mexico, Kazakhstan, Spain, and Turkey. So this time we got a lot of diversity, and what we have tried to do at our level best is to make all the teams very diverse. So you would be working throughout the 4 weeks with four different people from different places, and you would have a mentor either from Ireland or from India. All the mentors are trained with all the content, so they know what to do. And all you need to do is you need to attend the 4 week program. There is one session per week with a mentor, and I think the mentor has already contacted you about the session, so you know when your meeting is going to be. We are going to do Flappy Bird in processing, and we are going to do the snake game in P5JS. So basically, there would also be speaker series throughout the 4 weeks. We have a very famous author coming in on the 15th of August, and then next week we have a speaker from Amazon coming in. Then we have speakers from She Connects and SAP as well. And our ex speakers include people from Google, Microsoft, and Intel. So we've had a lot of diversity uh, at that aspect. And today's speaker is also coming from a very diverse background. So I hope you find her story very inspirational. And we are going to start the speaker series soon. So one of the benefits of this program is also that we are trying to provide certificates to everybody. So you will be getting certificates. This is a huge networking opportunity because there's so much diversity here. There's diversity among the mentors, their backgrounds, as well as the backgrounds of the participants. It's great to see that people have something to offer. Like everybody is so diverse. So that is why that's one of the aspects of this program which makes it so unique. And even though all the information is available on the internet, you can find these games anywhere. But one thing which makes us different is that we have a very personal aspect to a program because there are so many mentors, there are so many participants. So everybody is going to get a very personal experience out of this. So there are people to help you and guide you at each step, which makes this program unique and different. So throughout the 4 weeks, you are going to be first, like in your first week, you're going to have an introductory session in which basically you are going to be doing processing, and you're going to install all the software required. That's processing and GitHub. So you just need to make sure that you have a GitHub account and you have processing installed in your computer. It's just going to be a very informal conversation with your mentor in the first week. Then followed by in the second week, you're going to be doing Flappy Bird using processing. So we are going to just have one session or two sessions depending on the speed of your team, and you are going to make the Flappy Bird game in processing. And then after that, you're going to do snake game using P5JS. So P5JS is basically one of the libraries which are in processing. So you are going to use that, and you're going to use JavaScript for that. And in the week 4, we just plan to wrap up everything. So if you want to make the most out of this, all you need to do is attend the weekly meetings, follow your mentor, and just listen to them, whatever they tell you and however they guide you. Attend the speaker series because the speaker series is like an amazing opportunity to network with these people and ask questions and be willing to learn. So just get ready, and I hope you guys like the program which we have set up for you, and just make the most of this opportunity. Join the Discord channel, join the Facebook group, and network with people who are there in your team and even outside of your team. So I'll just introduce the speaker now. Our speaker is basically Anastasia Drey. She was a model. She has just graduated from Dublin City University. She is very inspirational because she's coming from such a diverse background. And today she's going to be speaking about the art of self-reflection and understanding what matters to you the most and finding a work-life balance. So I will be handing over to her, but just before I hand over to her, I will just look at how many people I need to admit. Yeah. And now I think, Anastasia, you can present.
Okay, well, that's quite an introduction. Right. Yeah, I know Saravi for over a year now, I think, and I find her to be an amazing person. She's just trying to, anything that she's fascinated with, she just goes and she gets it, and she just completely, like, I don't know, I find her very, very inspiring personally. I only just found out that she has like a YouTube channel and she's into photography, which is completely crazy because she's also so like business focused and she's really into kind of coding and everything. And it's just, I find it amazing when people try to grab onto things that make them happy no matter what. Um, I guess it'll be kind of something similar that I'll be talking about today. I'm going to try to present. We practiced it yesterday with Ravi. Um, okay. Um, can you hear me all okay?
Yeah,
Yeah? Okay, can you see my screen also? Yeah?
I think it should just show up in 2 minutes now. Yeah,
Okay.
it's showing up.
Okay, I'm just trying to.
Yes.
Okay. Can I try to go to the beginning? There we go. Can everybody see it? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I hope that will be fine. All right, yeah. So I'm just gonna just jump into it. It's really weird, not seeing all of your faces here. So if you have any question, if there's anything, just shout. Honestly, just turn on your mic and go for it. There'll be obviously a Q&A section there. And at some point, see, I really like whenever I present, I really like to make it interactive. So by the end of it, I'm going to do a little exercise with you, and I would recommend if you have a little piece of paper with you, so you can kind of draw a few things out. I will find it easier, but because we recorded, you can do it later on. Yeah, so self, the art of self-reflection. So it's going to be about reassessing your priorities and finding a work-life balance, which is something I think so important right now. During the lockdown period, we were thrown into this atmosphere of sitting at home, being alone, and still trying to work. I feel like finding a balance between those things has been difficult for so many people that I know. Um, to go into it, so first of all, I'd like to address the whole concept of change. I feel like it's been something to be feared of by many people. Whenever I talk about change is something new, something different, something scary, and pretty much nearly every time when some change happen in anybody's life, is always for the best, because every time you're scared of it in the beginning, but then after things have changed, you're actually so glad it happened. And yet still we are scared of it in one or another way. Um, I guess to talk about, I would like to say that we change. It is our human nature. We're born to change, to evolve, to adjust. Many people believe that most of us tend to change up until we find our work and we are in our 20s and we kind of stabilize and everything. But I don't really believe this is true. I believe that we grow no matter what, and change kind of really means growth in other way to me personally. And I feel like growing up and going into one work, it's totally normal to at some point just realize that you actually enjoy different things, and then it's okay to change. I know many people who have worked in an office in a certain firm for like up to 10 years, and at some point they realize that, I don't know, they just like to surf. And then they took 5 years off their savings and they just went surfing to, I don't know, to Spain or anywhere else. And that is fine. I feel like I want to kind of, when I present here, I'd like to kind of explain that that is completely fine and it's nothing to be afraid of or confused about. Now, as we change, our interests and priorities, of course, change as well. And I believe it's very important to kind of maintain in sync with where our priorities and where our beliefs stand, to try to understand ourselves better and to kind of, while we do grow and while things do change in our life, we can always try to take control of it. We can always try to adapt the change into our own to our own needs. I'm going to talk about myself now. I thought it's kind of to make it more personal. So in 2018, like 17, 18, my first year of college, I actually thought that I wanted to become a DJ. It was very interesting, I think, because that did not go anywhere. Um, yeah, and then that summer I kind of spent traveling around and filming a lot of content with different video creators, and we were posting it. And actually, the people who I did content with at that point, we actually set up a little digital marketing startup now, which we're still working on. But things just happen, and I feel like accepting it and feel like going with the flow is one of the most important things that I learned myself. Then going into second year of college, I focused on business and startups 100%. So I had a startup, and then I actually pitched it, and I brought it through the DCU, what was it, Ryan Academy incubator, which was absolutely well done. And then I joined some other incubators, and I went to so many meetings, lots of Dublin Tech Summits, everything, just talk, get my idea out there, get feedback. Afterwards, I was accepted to Accenture's Leaders of Tomorrow program, where I worked on my startup, and I learned lots of things about kind of the importance of presentation, organization, kind of selling, and all of those things. Then I did many internships and that summer, so really focused myself on the whole businessy part of who I am, I guess. And this year, I guess in summer, I just kind of sat down, reassessed my priorities, and decided that I really want to get a good grade. I really want to focus in, and I really want to graduate, and I want to show myself that I can do really well in education wise. Because, for example, 5 years ago, I couldn't even speak English. So for me personally, it was something that I wanted to achieve, and so something that would make me feel more confident and in myself and happier. So I got my results 2 days ago, and I got first. And it was just really strong moment for me personally, really kind of I inspired myself. I know it's hard to explain, but I find those kind of times when you inspire yourself to get more work, it's the best things you can actually do for yourself, because that inspiration will not leave you. If you can try to learn to inspire yourself as you go, you'll have this amazing energy just throwing back and forth into any work that you choose to do. Now I'm going to go into a little kind of exercise, I guess, and that's where in a few you'll need your maybe pen and paper. So I'm going to go real quick and talk about what are your priorities, and I'm going to just touch down on behavioral economics and talk about the games we play in our day-to-day lives, and how they affect our choices. And then I'm going to go into how balanced your life is, and I have a story to tell you about very famous cosmonaut. And yeah, then afterwards I want to do a little exercise with you to kind of analyze it based on the story, how balanced life actually is. So that'll be kind of your self-analysis moment. You can do it for yourselves, and then you can analyze it later. So what are your priorities? Nowadays it is so common to get lost due to the whole societal norms and things that the world has put on us. I guess all the pressures of society, for example, that you have to be married until a certain age, you have to get a certain income at a certain age, you have to have a job, you finish college, you have to go into internship. All of those things, they're the norms of the society that we face every day. And I guess nowadays, with the whole lockdown and coronavirus happening, those things have changed. And it used to be norm to wake up in the morning, I don't know, put some makeup on, and then go into the office and work 9 to 5, and then you might, I don't know, go for a drink with your colleagues or anything, go home and see your dog. That was the norm. But then one day it wasn't. So I guess that just kind of explains how something that used to be a norm and used to be so unchangeable in the world can change in one day. So any other norm that we have presented to us these days can change any second, just like that. So further on, I would like to touch down on behavioral economics kind of aspect. This is something that I actually gathered through my lectures. It wasn't easy. I tried to find this same thing online, but I couldn't. And if you want, you can do a little screenshot of it because I find it very, very interesting. We all play games. There are internal and there are external games that we play, and each of them has its own aim or purpose. So some of them are more visible and more kind of dominate in our lives, and some of them are kind of hidden, or the one they can change. It depends what aspect of life we're in right now, where we are, and what are our priorities. So the internal games we have would be the game of life, the purpose of which is awareness, the relationship game, connection, master game, enlightenment, academic game, knowledge, the art game, the purpose of it will be beauty, the religion game is salvation. And then we have the external games, which we play. There will be the health game for vitality, the money game for wealth, family game for belonging, fame game for importance, parenting game for legacy, and victory game for control. Sorry. Yes. So most of those games we play on a day-to-day basis. For example, many of us right now who'd be in college or just about finished it would be primarily playing their academic game and looking for certain knowledge, studying, trying to get more information pumped into our brain, so then we can go and maybe proceed into the future kind of in more of a businessy world and search maybe for enlightenment or whatever we choose. Probably the money game, looking for wealth. Then the other one will be the relationship game. Most of us looking for connection, whether it's friendship, whether it's the special someone that you have now or you're looking for, or maybe you trying to get to know more people within your circle. Any of that will be some sort of search for a connection. There's three primary games that we all play. It will be the relationship game, the health game, and the money game. And there's this quote that I really, really loved. I couldn't find who wrote it, but I found it in my slides. And it says, if you don't play these games consciously, they will play you. And I feel like it gives so much meaning to it, because there are so many times that I found myself being in certain situation, trying to understand why this happened. But actually, I guess I've been played by the game. I was just there kind of being present in the whole situation. And I guess what I would like you guys to do real quick now is answer the question, what games are you actually playing right now, and how? And I'm just gonna real quick put back the games so you can just write down and sort them out, I guess, in the priority way. And it could be something that you playing consciously, or something that where you found yourself, like academic game. You are in college, so that would be something that would be the dominant aspect of your life. Just gonna sit back and see if you can all see me. Yeah, here are my slides. Can you see my slides? Yeah, can hear anyone. So
yeah, we can see the slides, and we can see you also.
So I'll give, I guess, 2 minutes to do that if you want to have a think.
If people want to just send their answers in the chat, that'll also help us a lot.
Of course, yeah, that's it's really up to you. Perfect, thank you. Oh, I present really weird. I can only see my slides, and it's just like I'm sitting here.
Yeah, I know that's one thing about Google Meet. It's just a little bit.
I didn't even know there's people messaging something. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much. Oh. Okay, perfect. Okay, yeah. So I guess if I were to do me as an example, I guess I played very strongly the academic game I've focused primarily on it in a recent year, and now I guess that has paid off. I believe I really started playing the art game. I really got into art. I started painting again. The health game, yeah, there's some answers here, yeah. I like that, yeah. Academic health art game. Very nice, yeah. I guess the next step for me will be trying to get into the the money game. um, and we can see how, for example, we have the parenting game, which is kind of the main aim of it will be legacy, and that's something I guess most of us will start playing in the next, well, I guess up to 10 years. It really depends, you know, but something that we wouldn't really probably relate to these days because we have so many other things to focus on. But that's what I'm talking about, the change. The When change comes into our life, we really swope like our priorities, and that would be probably most of people would have this as their priority. Um, Maybe in the mid-30s, mid-40s.
Yeah, actually, funny enough, yesterday I was watching this video, and in that video, the girl was saying that once you graduate university, that's something you got congratulated for your 4 years of effort. But after that, you're not getting congratulated for anything. So
Yeah.
people start finding milestones like getting
Mm,
married, having kids, all those become milestones of people.
yeah,
So, that's why I think that that is relatable to what you're saying in terms of the games which people or society make us play. So it's very
exactly.
hard for us to realize what our own priorities are because we are so boggled down by these
Mhm.
external things.
Yeah, and I guess it's normal. I mean, it's understandable that society, we all need a ways to explain certain things. And of course, society will comes up to with this norms, and we all will have to either obey or kind of stand out of them. But why I really like this, for example, kind of behavioral way of putting things down is because it gives me a bit of a understanding to it. And even though I will probably be a part of those societal pressures, I probably will be influenced because that's normal, you know. We all get influenced. We all have parents or friends who tell us, for example, something, and we'll consider it, and we might even agree with it, or we might disagree, but it'll definitely influence us in some sort of way. So I find this is very interesting because that kind of gives me an understanding of, okay, right, I guess I'm playing this game now, but I understand it. So it gives me more ground to stand on. So I can kind of understand where everything is going, where I'm at right now. Kind of more self-realization moment for me, I guess.
It's even hard to understand that because everybody, even if your life is perfect according to you, people would want to kind of like make you feel that there is some aspects of it which are not going right according to them. So it'll be very hard for you would start questioning yourself in that aspect. You'll be like, how do I make it perfect? And you would try to have it all at the same time, and that is just not possible. I feel that you can't just have everything at the same time. There has to be one thing which would be going down, one thing which should be going up. So everything cannot be stagnant. Like everything cannot be at one level.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. Yes. Um, and that's why I think it's so amazing that, for example, you personally try to show yourself in so many different kind of aspects of your life. Well, you do photography, you also study a very kind of mathematical course, you know, and many people here would because obviously you came here to learn how to code or kind of update your knowledge about it. So I think it's very good to also have hobby that is not related to it. Well, I specialized in economics and finance. I always liked art and music, and whatever I know that I had enough of numbers for right now, I need some time off. I'll go for a walk and listen to some great music, or I'll go and I paint something, or I go and I don't know, work out, but something completely different, something kind of a change of not even the scenery, but I guess a change of game that I'm playing in a certain way, found very, very beneficial. Okay, I'm gonna jump into the, because I don't want to stay too long on this. So yeah, I hope you answer. I love the questions. I absolutely loved your answers, guys. It's really nice to see so many people like playing family games and house games, relationship. Um, this will be the most. You can see it yourself. Will be the most common answers, and obviously academic for all of us, I guess, right now. The knowledge.
Never join.
The last
Okay.
the last comment there was really funny. Okay, so let's go into the next. So real quick, how balanced is your life? So for that, I will be kind of talking about the balance of life wheel assessment diagram, which I found to be incredibly useful whenever I feel a little bit lost or out of balance or that I don't know what I need from life. This is something I'll throw my tiffin, I'll sit down, I draw it, and I understand what in my life right now is missing. So before that, like I'm going to show you, this is kind of how it looks. So you can see that most of us usually say like, okay, what is my life? So I guess it's studying, my friends, work, and kind of it. But honestly, there's minimum 8 sectors that you have to fulfill in your life, which will make you feel happy and full. Is we have romance, working career, romance, working career, fun and creation, health and fitness, money and finance, personal growth, family, and spirituality. And as we can see, some of them are positioned in front of each other. So, for example, if we have work and career in front of it, we can have personal growth, which would be maybe even some hobby, something like that. So, the whole idea of it, if you spend so much time at work to build your career, you will not have enough time for your hobbies, for things that you enjoy doing. Or if you, for example, spend too much time, like money and finance, doing some sort of financial goals and spending too much time there, you won't have enough time for, I guess, your personal life, for your friends, for family. So those do take away from each other, and at the same time they do balance each other out. So the whole idea of the circle is to create the circle, like make it look as much a circle as it can get. In the middle we have 0, and then we have up to 10 in every direction. And before I'll ask you to do that yourselves, I want to tell you a little story about a man called Yuri Gagarin. Yuri Gagarin. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he was a Soviet Air Force pilot and cosmonaut who became the first human to journey into outer space, which was a huge milestone in the space race in general. He also was a keen sportsman. He played ice hockey as a goalkeeper. He was a basketball fan, and he coached the team. At the same time, he had lots of friends. He had a loving family. He was working out a lot. That's everything about him before he went into space. So let's have a look. We have the diagram. So before he went into space, his romance was good. He met a woman he really loved. They got married. Work and career was pretty good. So let's say romance was maybe 8. Work and career probably maybe 6, 7. Because he didn't have that much money, but he had a stable work, stable income, some sort of idea of growth because he was probably going to go into space. Fun and recreation, hobbies. He enjoyed. He played basketball. He was on a hockey team. He coached a team. He could work out a lot. That goes into health and fitness. So of course he was trying to prepare. He was preparing to go into space. So he would have incredible amount of workout. He will have to stay as healthy and as fit as possible. And so on those, I guess it will be, well, health and fitness, I guess it was like 10, 9, 10, and fun and recreation was around probably 8. And then money and finance, it wasn't that bad, but it was pretty good for where he wanted to be. So if he could afford anything he wanted, so I'd say it'll be a 7, 8 in his own understanding. Personal growth, family, spirituality, everything was on a very good level, not as amazing as you would want it to get, but just enough to make a full circle. So he was very happy. He was a happy, healthy person who was, well, I guess, satisfied with his life. Then after he went to space, he came back after the flight, and it was the triumph for Soviet space program, and he became national hero of the Soviet Union, as well as worldwide celebrity. So all the newspapers around the world published stories about him and details of the flights. He was traveling all over the world, giving speeches, wearing amazing expensive suits, eating, drinking, smoking. So let's have a look how the diagram went after he came back from space. So most of his focus went to work and career and money and finance. So that would be up to 10 now. However, because he traveled a lot, had a lot of alcohol, and spent a lot of time with, I don't know, publishers or celebrities or anyone else, he did not have any time for his friends, for his family, for his wife. At some point, I think I was reading his story about him yesterday. I think she caught him cheating at some point as well. So those things would, well, work, career, and financial kind of situation will go up to 10. His personal life, his family life, and friendship will drop probably to maybe 4 or 3 because it was nearly non-existent with his schedule. Then he didn't really have fun anymore because all he could do is go around the cities and give speeches. And after some sort of something that happened with one of the flights, they forbid him from flying out again because they were scared that they will lose him, and he was very, very important to the Air Force. So his health and fitness went down due to a lot of drinking, lots of smoking, and not enough working out because he couldn't really fly. He didn't really have to stay in shape. He didn't really have much fun. He wasn't really happy. So those things will drop as well. Personal growth, spirituality, I'd assume there's no happiness, there's no much personal growth because he didn't know where else could you go. They just maintain him as a nice face going around and presenting and looking happy. But I don't believe there was much of personal growth going at that point. So as far as I know, he got he had a lot of alcohol, and at some point he died, and he wasn't happy after he came back into comparison. So I guess what I want to get out of the story is I want to explain how important it is to balance all the different sectors of the wheel itself rather than focus and perfect just one segment of it. Because while you focus on one segment, like for example, installation with Yuri Gagarin, which he achieved absolutely, was very, very successful in, you neglect all the others, which are so essential. So every time, for example, when I get some sort of amazing achievements in my career, or I get a lot of kind of, I have email from an investor or something good happens, and I feel myself being very caught in the moment and just focusing solely on this. I try to step back and tend to go and try to spend more time with family or with my friends because I want to balance it out. It's really easy to get caught in the moment, but the ground, the happiness, the people who will be there will be your family, will be your friends. And it's very important to always maintain that ground and don't think that those things will just always be there, because obviously if you neglect people for some time, like family, I guess, which was a situation for me at some point, I guess I focused so much on certain achievements that I didn't spend enough time, I guess, with my brother, and I tried to play back in this lockdown to kind of become more friendly with him. So, and I'm very happy now in really good relationships, you know. So when I say that, it's very important to balance things out. This would be a diagram that I'd say you can kind of look into, and if you can zoom in, but it has all of those sectors in, and you start as a center, seeing it as 0, and draw kind of a little circle around, and on the other side of the edge will be 10. And I'd like you to rank your level of satisfaction with each area. You can draw like a little curve line, you can do a little mark, it's really up to you. And the aim of this work, of this task, as I said, is not to score high for each section, but to get as close as possible to making it a circle, to maintaining this balance. And you have, I like this diagram because you have an example of each. Like, for example, family will be parents, children, spouse, parenting, and then you have recreation, you have arts and music, literature, rest and leisure, travel. I really hope you can see it. Um, but yeah, it kind of should give you an idea of what each sector might mean, and if you kind of can go and mark yourself personally of how satisfied, how happy you are with where you stand right now from 0 to 10, it should give you an understanding of which sector you might have been neglecting for a little bit. Just gonna go through your comments here.
Yeah, I think an easier way of doing this would be just to like take a screenshot of the slide
Yeah,
and
if you want to, yeah.
thing and just like put them rank there. That's what I'm trying to do now.
I really like we have I believe, sorry if I pronounce the name right, Apurva. I really like said here that you always need to compromise somewhere in one concept or another, which is very, very true. I think life is so much about compromise, about kind of setting, again, your priorities and understanding how much you can actually compromise in one sphere of your life or another. I really agree with that, yeah. Yeah, so let me know if you'd like me to keep the slide on for a little longer and you want to do it yourself, or you'd like to take a screenshot so I can wrap up and I'm not going to take that much of your time.
Yeah, I'm almost done.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, I tend to do this exercise, well, minimum twice a year. These days, I guess life changes so much. And I feel like after lockdown, people that I met, somebody that I talked to, had completely changed their priorities. I guess we never really tend to spend that much time with ourselves um, at home or just like working from home. We tend to be distracted by so many things in this life, by people, by routine, by things that we do. We are honestly too busy to actually sit down, take those 10 minutes to ourselves to understand what do we ourselves want us to do. You know, we tend to listen to what people think we should do rather than deciding it. And I believe it's easier, and like obviously we all will do it. There's no way you can just live for yourself. You always have to consider other people's opinion. But I believe it is important sometimes to just take those little few minutes to yourself just to understand whether that's what you truly want. Because I know many people, and many stories, many people pursuing some sort of career and thinking that this is what they need to do. This is what will give them the most money. This is what will make their parents happy, and they end up being very unhappy in their life, and they end up deciding to drop it and just start being a musician. I know a guy who was working as a manager, and at some point he realized that he's very unhappy and he started a band, and
Oh,
it
wow,
wasn't
that's
just
really
good.
cool actually. Like, I mean, there are very few people who are able to do that. I mean, quitting something which you're so comfortable with and
Yeah,
going with something which is absolutely different. Not many people can do that, but there are so many people I've seen as well who have a lot of potential to do a lot of things, but they don't because they're very comfortable with where they are right now. So,
absolutely, yes. I know it's difficult, of course, to sit down and ask yourself a question of what do I want? Because there's so many other thoughts coming in your head, like, oh, but I should do that, and I need to first take care of this and that and that. And all of this will obviously hit you, all of those different things happening in the world. And I feel like a lot of people really change their priorities and really change and reassess their whole life because the lockdown gave them the time that they needed to do so. And I think that's the beauty of it, because when we were given this time, we actually understood that wait, something's not right. Maybe I should change something. Maybe I should do this or that. I personally took, after I finished my exams, and it was just dreadful to sit in them online. It was difficult. I did that, and I told everyone that I'm taking 3 months off. I had calls from family, from my friends asking me what I'm going to do next, what are you applying, what you doing, and I just said I'm just going to take 2 months off. I'm going to paint. I'm going to create art. I'm going to listen to music, and this is all I want to do right now because I felt like this side of me was really neglected, leaving me unhappy. So very happy now. Took my time. Next step I will be more of a businessy. Back to it again. Okay, so just a little thank you to all of you for coming here and taking the time to actually be here and listen to me. And just doing this for yourself, I guess, primarily. It's very important, and I hope this information will help you. And I believe it's very important, especially in your age, we're all very, very young, to reassess and constantly continue reassessing. What do we want? Listen to others and hear them, but also don't forget to listen and hear yourself. Um, as many of us would forget that number one. Yeah, so the few points I like to say is that continuously check in on how you're doing in life. Your priorities change with time. Don't forget that. That is growth. That is evolution. That is norm. Take time off if you need it. This is your breathing space. Don't push yourself into something that you hate, because you might need to take 2 days off and you come back and you will come back with love for this job, or you'd feel like you really want to do it, and you'll find it so much easier to go through that milestones just if you take time to not think about it for at least maybe a few hours, and learn to understand your limits. I guess it's very, very important relating to the previous one. um, and if you feel overwhelmed, sometimes if I feel like I had too much, I'll go grab a coffee, read a book, listen to classical music, and it will be my reassess kind of button. And I guess that would be it from me. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much. That was really good because I feel that even I needed that.
I feel very weird to be talking, not seeing anyone. So yeah, it was definitely something different. I haven't done that before. I hope I did well.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really insightful. I love the slides. They were so spot on. And I think everybody got something out of it, which is the purpose of these sessions. And this is something very important, because you could be hustling all the while, like you could just keep going but never stop, and that would be just not the best thing.
Mm-hmm.
Even in my case, I saw that, like it is really hard to take time off, take holidays, because there are so many other things which you're supposed to do. And then you just keep feeling that you just cannot take time off because you have so many responsibilities. And it is really hard to be in that position. So I feel that all the points were very genuine, and we all should just reflect and take time off and understand what matters to us the most, instead of just going for what everybody else is doing or whatever the options are at the current situation. So if anybody has any questions, we would love to kind of have a discussion.
Hey, I wanted to ask,
Yeah.
Priyanshu. Yeah, I sometimes when you're like focused on say work or some, the part of that circle, it happens like when you're like pushing a part, you just go end up like keep pushing it further. Like, you don't really, you're not able to stop. Like when one thing has another consequence. Like at times I'm very aware that I need to be focused on the other part of my life, but I kind of feel helpless. Like I can't because I have this, then this and this. So like, how to deal with that?
Oh, I absolutely agree. I definitely been there maybe too many times. And I know I pushed myself a bit too strong. And it it obviously will depend on situation, and on you and what you feel comfortable doing. I at some point, I guess, I told myself that sometimes it's okay to say I need a few minutes, I need some time, or say no, even, like, every manager that you have or anybody at work is a human, and we all need time. And if I believe that if you go to the person and say, I feel overwhelmed, I want to take some hours, I need to go for a walk, and it's a lot for me, I feel like I want to kind of stop for a second. If they're a good person, they're a good manager, they will understand. And if they say, no, I want you to work this extra hours, that leaves you with a question whether that's a person you want to continue working for, somebody who doesn't respect your personal priorities, your mental health, and how certain things make you feel. So I guess that's something I would kind of consider from both sides if faced with those
To-
with the situation.
Totally. Yeah. Also, you had like this really, really great presentation. It was very relatable, helpful.
Thank you so much.
And even, like the priorities, like the way you were asking the question, Priyanshi, it was like there are so many things which would be on your plate, and you don't know how to prioritize what matters the most at that point. And that is very hard, because sometimes you don't really know what
Exactly.
matters more. Like there are so many times when my parents call me or my family calls me, and I'm not able to pick up because I'm somewhere else or I'm doing something, and then they
So
tell me,
cool.
why you're not picking up, and then they would be like, there are some problems which happen. So that is really hard sometimes. And even when you were talking about the manager part, I felt that I asked for 2 days off, and my manager was like, you need time off, take a break. So there are so many people who would appreciate the fact that you're asking to take time off. So it is really important to ask for it if you want to you know so even understanding that it's okay to ask for something which you really want at a particular time, and that could be for even people who are like pushing you to do something by a certain point. You could just say, if I could get 1 day extra, I will make sure that it happens. And it usually does. So it's just a matter of communication, I guess, and just making sure that you are vocal about what you're feeling. Because there are so many times we don't say it, and we expect the other person to know that, how
Yeah.
you're doing. They would already know it. That creates so many problems.
Absolutely, I agree. Yeah, 100% agree. And then obviously I think if your manager goes and tells you need some time, please take it. Go ahead. Let me know how you feel. You feel more comfortable being in the company. You feel appreciated. You feel like your time is respected, and that makes you feel better about being present, going to work. Even that's kind of what I experienced. Um, yeah. Okay. Any more questions?
I think we had a question about time management there. Someone
Mm-hmm.
was asking how to manage time in a better way.
Mm-hmm.
So that is also one more question. How to get rid of procrastination.
Ooh, tough one. And for time management, I guess I had to teach myself kind of more and more to organize everything. I am Excel kind of freak. I love putting stuff in Excel. I love putting deadlines on it. I find it very great to kind of have my calendar, give myself some sort of time. Um, Even with for example, when I had a call first at Rabi, and she asked me if I can do a speech with her, and said, okay, give me 5 days. I need to sit down. I need to think if I can do it. I need to analyze whether I have something to share or I don't. I asked her to give me a deadline. It's like, let's do 5 days, and then we have a call, and I'll have an answer for you. I took 5 days, two of which I probably just was meeting up with friends. But then I took some time, sat down, understood that there are things that I can share. There is something that I found very useful right now. Had a call with her. We agreed everything. So I guess setting deadlines for yourself, and that also to procrastination question and time management, I guess, having deadlines, having commitments. When you say that you're going to commit to something or meet up with someone, I feel awful if I were to cancel or if I'm not going to show up. Like, I just personally can't do it. So having that on your calendar, having those a bit of, I guess, pressures. That's, I think, what college teaches us. All of those deadlines. If you miss it, you're gonna get penalized. So you'd rather not. I think what one of the most important. My parents say that what's the most important thing that college can teach us It's self-management, and I guess time management, and having those deadlines that we have, which we will have in life further as well, you know, but teaching us how to manage it, I guess that is something I found very important, and I only probably learned it in second year, to be honest. The first year was just trying to hope it's gonna happen.
Even, yeah, like in the case of just commitments, if you say that you are going to do something, if you do it, and if you have that feeling in you that I will do whatever I said, that
Mhm.
will help you overcome the procrastination. And
Yeah.
everybody has the procrastination thing, that okay,
Yeah.
I'll do it after 5 minutes, I'll do it after 10 minutes, and it
There-
keeps going.
Yeah, there's actually one more exercise that I know of. So it's kind of more like a diary thing, but I can't remember what it is, but I think you start off and you write a list of like 10 things that you have to do. This could be get coffee, drink a glass of water, get up, work out. It starts off with the very, very, very simple things. And then you add more things to your list, but you have to do every single thing on your list. You can't miss a thing. If you miss a thing, you have to start from the beginning. But then as you go further on, you can add more difficult tasks, like, for example, finish the presentation, create a speech, go present somewhere, or finish your assignment. And because your brain gets used to completing tasks, whether simple or not simple, it gets you into the zone of, okay, task completed, and I believe there is a way of I guess programming your own brain in that way, kind of putting it on a hard drive that you have to complete a certain task, and then you get used to completing them.
Yeah, Tanvi says that if you think that you're not so good at something, should you go for an internship, and you always delay to make you more capable? Yeah, what I think it means is that, like, if you feel that you don't have the skills for something, should you still go for the job, or should you delay it to make yourself more capable?
Mm. I personally love a challenge, and I love to learn things. If I don't know something, I want to learn it. And the question, I guess, is that why you think you wouldn't be capable? If there's certain internship that fits in the criteria of what you think you want to do. It's kind of, I guess, the question between I want to do that internship, but I don't think I'm good enough. And I guess you have to prioritize again. If you want to do something, if that's something you want to, and will make you feel better, make your life better, you're going to have to try, because you're going to have to try to push through those I guess difficult thoughts in your head, which make you think that maybe I'm not good enough for it, and you always are. That is actually the answer. If you think you want to do something, you know what, I'm actually going to use that sports metaphor here. I started doing workouts, and which I never really did. I would go to gym, but I never done at home workouts. And the girl that I work out with, she always says this mind to body. So whenever you work out on a certain set of muscle, you have to think about that muscle, and it kind of, the way that your mind focuses on things, it makes it so much easier to work out. It gives it so the 10 times better effect of it. And at the same time, she says, if you go through the set and you feel like your body, even if anybody here goes for runs, or kind of into any sort of sport, which I was like, I can't go for runs, but anyway, yeah. And then your body at some point starts telling you, okay, I'm so tired, I can't do anymore. And then you push for another 2 minutes, and then you can. Your body adjusts. Your body is stronger than you think it is, just like your mind is stronger than you think it is. I think sometimes when I thought I was not capable, I would just go at it, and I will try it, and if I don't know something, I Google it, I ask someone, I research it, I find a book, and then I would know it. I'll teach myself. I know it can be tough, but it's rewarding.
I can say the same, actually. Even the internship which I'm currently doing, I I still feel, because there are people on my team who have masters and PhD, and they all are just like so, knowledgeable, and I just keep feeling like, do I know enough? Do I know enough? That all those questions keep popping in my head. And even though I give my best and my manager always says that you are such an amazing intern, I still feel that I'm not. I still feel that I'm not doing enough. That feeling will still be there. So it's really hard to sometimes have that confidence in that field. And especially in technical field, this is a lot. This is present so much because there are so many people who are so competitive. Even in these applicants, I was looking over the applicants. I was like, these people know more than me. I feel that these people are so qualified. And you could have those feelings all the time. And there are so many people who know a lot, but still they would have a feeling that they don't. And when I was speaking to my manager about this, he said that this is called the Dunning-Kruger's effect. Basically, the people who think that they don't know enough, they know that the field is very broad, that they cannot know everything. And the people who basically don't know that the field is so broad, they feel that they know everything. So that also goes for the people who go into an exam and they feel that they did really well, but they didn't. And those people who didn't do, those people who actually did really well, they feel that they didn't do that well. So
Yeah.
that is also one thing which we probably need to consider. And
Actually,
just have.
interesting. Yeah, I was talking to some of my friends. They're like either managers or they have their own startups and they hire people. And they actually told me that most of the time they know that obviously you can't know exactly what they do. You don't have the same years of experience as they do. But what they actually need and want from you is that the will to learn. If you show them that, yes, I don't know it, but I want to know it. I want to learn it. That's all they need. If you want to understand how to do it, if you want to teach yourself how to do it, if you're happy to put the work in, that's all any internship will want, because they're there to teach you the skills that they already have.
True, that is very true. Like you can learn a lot of things online, you can search a lot. It's just that you're able to multitask, you're able to kind of carry forward your task and you're committed to them. That's what matters. I feel that's what matters. And yeah, I'll just admit one, yeah.
Mhm.
And then we can go over to the next
I
question.
just
There are so
I just
many.
wanted to know like this is Aditya here.
Yeah.
Yes, I just wanted to know like when we see like people around us, we see that they are creating various different projects which are really good at it. So like if they are learning different tasks and they are multitasking things, we are in a state of like peer pressure. So how to deal with that? Because it is really competitive nowadays, mainly in the presence of lockdown, that many people are doing really great in the terms of technical field.
In the terms of technical field, I feel that.
Means yes, yes.
Yeah, I feel that. See, the thing is that there are many people doing a lot of things, but as Anastasia mentioned, that what matters to you, you need to kind of prioritize that first. Like, what matters to you? There are people in my field, among my peers, they're doing a lot of things as well, but they're really technical. And I always felt that I'm probably not in the right course. I felt that so many times. I felt that probably I'm not doing the right thing because I feel that I feel scattered sometimes because I do so many different things which don't relate to my course, but they make me feel happy. So that is why I do them. And the whole idea behind this is go for what makes you feel proud of yourself and makes you feel that you want to keep doing it instead of comparing yourself from other people. And even whatever they are doing is for themselves. And half of the things which you see on LinkedIn are overhyped, like 2 week virtual internships. I don't know how would that add any value. Like there are a lot of things which are overhyped from what they actually are. So if you're looking at them and feeling bad, don't feel bad because I don't think it's genuine because there are so many things which you could do to make yourself feel happy and to make yourself feel valuable. And just looking at someone else's success shouldn't make you feel bad about where you are. in your life.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, that was really great. Thank you for letting me know that we can prioritize whatever we have to know, and whatever our areas which we want to excel in our lives. The specifically thing is that what I got. Thank you. Really well.
Thank you very
Thanks
much.
for the session.
Thank you. I think there are we just take 3 more questions, I think, because we are running out of time as well.
I think I really liked this one. I was just looking at it. I think Shreya said that she said that there are days that she feels very, very motivated and she can do anything, and there are days where she just doesn't want to do don't want to do work at all. And oh my God, same so many times. You can't stay constantly hyped. You can't stay constantly motivated to do your best. It is absolutely fine to feel down, and it's amazing to take the time. Understand that today you don't feel like doing things, so I'm going to take the day. I usually just go to a gallery, drink coffee, take my time, and the next day I come in and I'm just like, okay, right, I'm ready. I took my time. I'm ready to go back to it. I think it's all about balance yet again between hustle and rest. You can't constantly throw yourself into doing your best every day. It has to be a balance. You have to know when you listen to your body. When your body needs a rest, it needs a rest, and it's going to take it one way or another. It's either you're going to give it to your body, or it's going to crash at some point and you'll have to take some time off. That's what I personally found myself. I can only speak for myself now, of course. But from a few times of me being super stressed and not feeling good, I understood that when my body tells me that it needs a rest, I'm going to give my body a rest. And I found the ways that my body, for example, for me is I find it harder to sleep. So when I kind of feel stressed and have so many thoughts going through my head and I can't fall asleep, I know that I need to take a day or two to just not think. And then I go back and it's kind of like refreshing happening for me. My body rested, my mind rested, and I'm happy to go back to work. I think it's very good
Makes a lot of sense, and that is very relatable as well, because there are so many, especially during this lockdown time. I think this is happening more than it used to, because people are thinking so much. They are all the time with themselves, and that is what this whole thing is showing us. That we have so many thoughts, we are not able to handle them, and that's why we need people to be with, and we need network and all those things to escape from those thoughts and to just kind of run away. And I think when you just can't concentrate on anything, you are feeling really bad about yourself because you're not being productive, and that is really hard to deal with, actually, because the mind will keep telling you that you have to be productive all the time. And everybody has different definitions of being productive, I guess.
Very true. Yes, actually.
Yeah, I think we just take one last one and then we can be done with the session. Is there anything else?
You can choose if you want.
Find things slipping.
Self-confidence one.
Apurva says there are times when you find things slipping off your hands against the clock. How can you still maintain self-confidence?
Personally, what I think is because I try to, based on the wheel that I showed you, I try to throw myself in different hobbies, into different things that I enjoy. So for some time, when one of the sectors takes a hit, when I don't feel confident at work, I know that I go and I know my brother will run at me and he'll go, we'll play tennis, and he'll think I'm the best thing ever. Or I'll go and it's like, if I'm into photography, I'll take a picture and I'll edit it and it looks beautiful and I feel so good, and people will comment to me, wow, this is amazing, the composition. Or I go to the gym and I'll push harder and I'll feel good about myself. So I guess when I lose confidence in myself in one of the sectors, I have another ones to boost me and make me feel good about myself, because that one little job or that one little sector does not define who I am or who you are. You are all of those different pieces of a puzzle. And if one of them kind of got a bit lost, you can always work on another corner. It's the whole image in the end that matters, I believe. And yeah, I feel like it's whenever I don't feel good enough about myself in one way or another in a certain part of my life, there's always another one to boost me back up and make me feel good about myself. And then when I feel good about myself in any way or another, you experience joy. Your brain has more serotonin going to the brain. You feel happy, you feel good enough. And that feeling will benefit any other sector in your life, I think.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. Like even cooking and all these things, some things are very therapeutic, so they make you feel really good about yourself. And I think we have that question also links to one more question, which is basically, how do you make sure that you pursue what you like? And how do you know that that's what you want to do? Just like you mentioned about the musician, about the manager turning into a musician, like how do you know that what you like is actually your job? I mean,
sometimes you really don't. I believe that you go and you try, and if you're lucky, you'll know it straight away. And sometimes you don't, and that's totally fine. Because I don't believe there is anything to regret. I mean, I spent a year because I thought I will be a DJ, and that really did not did not end up being even a hobby of mine. But I tried it, and I put my work in, and I had a wonderful time. I had so many great memories of it. I made so many good friends. I had so much fun. And right now I'll be going somewhere and I meet those people. And then some of them ended up being working for the companies that now I'll be talking to. So there's nothing that you do in your life that will not pay off at all. Everything you do, every choice you make will at some point will come back and it will bring 10 times more success than you would even expect. It could be even walking someone's dog, and then who knows, maybe he's the CEO of the company of life. That's just how life works, I guess.
True. That's a really meaningful thing to say, actually, because there's so many times which you might feel, that you might just do something which you feel is right, but it's not really bringing any value at that particular point, and you feel that that's meaningless. But it isn't, probably. Everything has value. Whatever work you put in would have value. It's really hard to understand that, but it is. And it was really nice session. It was a really nice session. I mean, even I got a lot out of it, I feel. And I think all the participants who are still here, they were really involved and they really liked the chat we had as well as the presentation. So anybody wanting the slides, I think we can just send them the slides after, and look forward to the next week's session. I'm so excited for the next week one as well. It's really going to be good. And thank you so much, Anastasia.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, all of you, for going through and coming and listening to me and asking me questions. It's amazing to know that so many people actually care and so many people want to make themselves feel happier and more organized in their life. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And wait for an email from me, everybody. I'll send you the slides. I'll send you all the details. And I hope you have an amazing program ahead.
Yeah, wish you all the best in your future.
Thank you.
Okay, take care now. Bye-bye, guys.